Even though dogs are generally quite amiable animals, it can nevertheless surprise people when they observe how well they get along with dogs of other breeds. When a guy visited a shelter one day hoping to adopt a pit bull, the female dog surprised him by refusing to part with her companion. Watch to find out what happened to her companion and whether the dog was adopted. Until the very end, Best Friends, the Rocket Dog Rescue Shelter in San Francisco, California, put a lot of effort into providing care for stray dogs. Unfortunate day, 2 dog owners came in and handed their animals up to the shelter without providing an explanation. These canines were a male Chihuahua named Taco and a female pit bull named Meryl, who was also her close companion. It didn't take long to see that the 2 dogs were dependent on one another. Even if the dogs were just going to be apart for a short while, they would still get upset about it. The volunteers sought to locate an adoptive family for both of them as a result. Fortunately, social media provided the ideal forum for them to discuss the unique connection between the 2 creatures. Meryl and Taco were photographed by shelter volunteers, who then uploaded the adorable photo on social media with the message, "We just could not stand the thought of them being separated or waiting at the shelter for months to find a home together, so they are coming to Rocket Dog Rescue. Every dog at the shelter has to receive a physical examination, but the vet found something about Meryl that worried everyone. The poor pit dog need emergency surgery. Meryl was found to have had improper care from his prior owners, which resulted in a urinary tract infection and the inability for Meryl to reproduce. Her owners most likely gave her away due to the high expense of the procedure. Meryl was receiving the necessary medical attention from the shelter now that she was in capable hands. Taco was alone himself for the procedure, and it would be an understatement to say that it saddened him. The sentient being appeared to be completely conscious of his beloved companion's plight and was experiencing restlessness. This incident makes it quite evident that the 2 dogs were equally dependent upon one another. Meryl's pit dog companion was the first to wake up and cry out for her. When Taco heard her cry, he answered right away. It was too painful for the volunteers to let the 2 dogs be separated, even though Meryl had just recovered from surgery and needed rest. Thus, they gave Taco access to Meryl's recuperation area. And what happened? Until she regained her mobility, he remained by her side. At this point, the dog shelter volunteers began to worry. While animal friendships are wonderful things, there was also the terrible prospect that Meryl and Taco might be adopted apart. The last thing the dog's caregivers wanted was for them to be unable to find homes because they were too close to one another. Soon later, something happened that startled every volunteer. Upon seeing Meryl at the shelter, a guy felt at once that she would be the ideal companion for him. This was expected as the pit bull was still a young, well-liked breed, 2 characteristics that many people sought for in a rescue dog. Meryl got along fairly well with the man, and he was determined to adopt her. Rocket Dog Rescue was happy to provide the little dog a home that would be stable. As he prepared to take her home and completed the necessary papers, everything appeared to be going really smoothly. The man was astonished to see that Meryl and Taco began sobbing as soon as Meryl was removed from the pen. It was out of control. The volunteers had never witnessed anything like that before, and the man was astounded by their response as well. Meryl was unable to part from Taco, no matter how wonderful a new home could be. The man made the difficult choice to adopt a new puppy after the staff gave him an explanation of their story. Seeing the exquisite depth of the love between the 2 dogs, he didn't want to be the cause they parted ways. The volunteers realized that something needed to change following this incident. The dogs needed to be adopted, but they also needed to remain in their group. They therefore devised the ideal remedy. Meryl and Taco would each have a joint listing created by the shelter. Once more, they promoted these 2 closest friends on social media. "These 2 love each other more than any bonded pair the shelter has ever seen," said Rocket Dog Rescue on Facebook. "When they part from one another, they weep. We can't allow this dynamic pair lose each other after they lost their homes and families." Emotional reactions poured into this piece. Meryl and Taco became well known online because their tale touched people's hearts and made them feel compassion. The shelter was pleased with this response as it indicated that they were getting closer to matching the perfect individual for the pair. It was just a matter of time until someone volunteered to take that position. Rocket Dog Rescue was thrilled when a San Jose family inquired about adopting the two canines from the shelter. Not only would these dogs get their ultimate home, but they would also live together. There have been a lot of challenges since Taco moved in with the family, particularly in regards to his health. Nonetheless, the family devoted their lives to maintaining the happiness and well-being of their two canines. They have embarked on numerous adventures and gained innumerable acquaintances. Meryl and the family continued to miss Taco despite the fact that time eventually caught up with him and he passed away, cherishing all the experiences they had shared. How do you feel about this tale? Tell me in the space provided for comments below. The close relationship these two dogs have is, in my opinion, a dream come true. It only goes to demonstrate that true friendships endure a lifetime despite their differences. A trustworthy advisor. The unexpected bond between a pit bull and a dachshund is a tale much to Meryl and Taco's. A kind woman previously had OJ, the blind dachshund, and Blue Dozer, the pit bull guide, who was his best buddy. Sadly, this woman became homeless and had to make the difficult decision to give her priceless pets to a nearby shelter. She desired a happy life for them. The woman just asked that the dogs remain together if they were adopted when she gave them away. OJ is blind, as was previously established, and needs someone else to lead him around as the small animal can only perceive shadows. This is the role of Blue Dozer. Since their first encounter, they have remained by one another's sides as fast friends. This tale first surfaced on Facebook, where a large number of individuals were devastated to learn about the two's eventual split. Despite the fact that the dogs were adopted together, the new owner decided she only wanted Dozer and no longer wanted to take care of OJ. Fortunately, this is not the conclusion of the tale. After arriving at the Richmond Animal Care and Control Facility, the canines were reunited. These two dog friends shouldn't ever be separated, according to the staff at the shelter and everyone else who has heard about the tale online. They claim that a pledge not to split up the dogs will be included in the adoption paperwork the next time someone signs them. Fortunately, they have since located a loving family in Richmond who will always be their home. Some individuals believe that the more pets a person has, the better. Cleo is a German Shepherd that loves to play and frequently strolls around parks. Fortunately for Cleo, she meets her best buddy rather frequently. Since they were little puppies, Cleo has had a strong relationship with her companion, a golden retriever. One of their memorable moments was posted online by Cleo's owner. With millions of views and likes, and notorious Cleo's TikTok video attracted a lot of attention. Watchers can see the two mutts interacting at a park in the footage. When Cleo feels her companion approaching, she turns and crouches down to playfully hide, going into invisible mode, as the video description put it. Then the retriever is taken aback by its old pal. The two started sprinting toward one another since they were unable to stop themselves. German Shepherds and Golden Retrievers are not often paired together, but after reading this tale, I can see why. Every large dog requires a little buddy. Speaking about amiable Golden Retrievers, consider this tale. A mature dog becomes friends with the total opposite of him. When a little black puppy was delivered to this retriever, he was taken aback and naturally perplexed about what to do. The retriever was apprehensive around the puppy at first, but he seemed to loosen up a little after taking a few sniffs. The little ball of fur posed no threat. On the contrary, it needed guidance from someone. Soon after meeting for the first time, the two dogs became best friends. Seeing a big dog attempt to play with a little animal that can fit in a person's hand is definitely a cute sight. As the puppy became used to its surroundings, walked for the first time, and resumed eating on a regular basis, the Golden Retriever was delighted to accompany him. Animals mature rather rapidly. When they first met, the black pup found it difficult to match the retriever's lively nature. But nowadays, it is so animated that the retriever occasionally appears to be unable to keep up. Every close friend has been a stranger at some point, and the cute couple was no exception. Hearing about how devoted dogs can be to one another regardless of breed, doesn't it make you feel good? It makes sense why they make such well-liked pets. Remember to press the subscribe and like buttons if any of these sweet friendships impacted you. I hope to see you in the upcoming video once again.